Hi boys and girls, today is your second day of Independent Work Day. Today's Friday, so make sure to follow all the instructions in Google Classroom for what you are to complete for the day. So part of this is watching this video lesson. For the first part, since this is a continuation and a review from yesterday, you are going to be working alongside me, okay? So first I will do the first example, and then make sure to find a pencil and a piece of paper or a journal to do the other examples with me. Okay, so today we are going to review representing two-digit numbers. So this is just like what we saw yesterday. It says color tens and ones to match each number. So it has the number already written out in number form, not in the word form. There you go. So we have it in the number form, not word form, so that's easy. That gets rid of a step for us. We're going to think, how many tens and how many ones am I going to color or create to represent this number? So I'm going to show you on my screen. I'm going to go figure this out on a website. So underneath, this is my my classroom website for Google Sites. So everybody has this link in that packet they got at the Rosemont Roundup, where you had that green folder and you had all your books. So the link is sites.google.com/teachers.fwic.org/Miss Reese/home. So here's the home page. I'm going to click on Recursos para Aprendizaje. Y aquí tienen sitios para usar en matemáticas y también un sitio divertido para lectura. Ok, so esto es para matemáticas. Voy a hacer un clic aquí a la esquina arriba a la derecha. And after I click on it, it's going to be kind of like a Google document. And you can click on any of these pictures and that will send you a link to the link of the manipulative. Okay, so I'm going to click on the bottom left, where there's these, it's a little hard to tell with this, but on the bottom left there's some cubes, base 10 blocks. I'm going to click on that. And that will bring me to this website. And I'm going to use this website to help me represent the numbers from our slideshow. Okay? So, our first number, 98. So we have a 9 in the tens position. I know. For my tens position, I always represent using a rod. Let me see. I have 9, so I'm going to use 9 rods. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay? Move that a little bit so y'all can see. Okay, so I have 9 rods, and I'm going to, I wonder if I can, yes I can write. So, right here I have 9 in the tens position. Okay? Alright, now we have an 8 in the ones position. Well, I know for my 8, I know for my ones position, I always use units to represent my 1. So, and also, I have an 8 in the ones position. So I'm going to use 8 units. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you should have 8 units right here, and I'm going to draw that number on the screen. Okay, so 98. 98, that's what my screen looks like to represent that number. Okay, now let's look at letter B together. We are going to do letter B together. 61. So we're trying to figure out how many rods and units we can use to represent 61. Well, let's go back to our base 10 blocks. So everybody at home, you can go ahead and use this website to practice along. Or if you want, you can draw out your rods and units on a piece of paper. We have done that a lot in class, so you should know how to do it. But if you want, you can use this website. And remember, this website is located on my classroom Google Sites, and everybody should have this link. It'll also be on Google Classroom as well. Okay? Alright. So I have 61. I have a 6 in the tens position, and I know tens, I always use rods. So I'm going to use my rods, and we're going to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I have to move those over a little bit. There we go. 5 and 6. Let's give them a little bit more room. Okay? And I have a 1 in the ones place. So I know my ones place, I always use units. And so I'm going to just put 1 unit. And that gives us the number 61. Alright, so now pause the video. I want you to do letter C and letter D on your own. So you're going to do both letter C and letter D on your own. So go ahead and pause the video. When you are finished, then you can play the video and see what the answers are for both of these. Alright, let's review letter C, 56, and letter D, 11. Okay? So I used my math site up here from my classroom website. I'm going to click on it. I wrote the number 56. I have a 5 in the tens position, so that means I'm going to use a rod, and I put down 5 rods. I have a 6 in the ones position. My ones position, I always use units, and I'm going to put 6 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is what 56, letter C, should look like. Now letter D, 11. Remember, 11 is a teen number. All teen numbers have a 1 in the tens position. So I wrote the number 11, and I know I have a 1 in the the tens position. So that means I have 1 rod, and I have a 1 in the ones position. So I'm going to put down 1 unit. So that's what the answer should look like for 11. Now we're going to continue representing 2-digit numbers in another way. So this says write numbers to show the value of each digit. And on the expander it says 3 tens, 8 ones. So I want you to think about that. How am I going to represent 3 tens, 8 ones? Pause the video and think. If you said, 3 tens, that means I should have a 3 in the tens position, so that would be 30. And 8 ones, that means I have an 8 in the ones position. That would be 30 plus 8 to give me 38. So that is our answer for letter A. How about letter B? Think about how we would represent letter B. Pause the video and think about how we would represent that. If you said, we have 1 in the tens position, so that would be 1, 0, that would be 10, plus 4 ones, I have a 4 in the ones position, that would give me 10 plus 4, which would give us 14. I want you to go ahead and do letter C and letter D on your own on a piece of paper. So you don't have to copy this. The only thing you have to do is write out the expanded notation. So that's what this is called that I wrote right here, expanded notation. So go ahead and write the expanded notation for letter C and letter D on a piece of paper. Pause the video, and when you are done, you can continue the video to check your answers. So on your piece of paper for letter C, you should have wrote 80 plus 9, because we have 8 tens and 9 ones. Letter D, we have 6 tens, so that gives me 60, and 7 ones. So I'm going to write 60 plus 7. So check your answers for C and D to make sure that you got those answers. Now let's move on to the next section. Step ahead. Write the number of tens and ones to match each number name. So for letter A, we have 32. I want you to pause the video and think, how many tens and ones are in this number, 32? Alright, if you said there are 3 tens for 30 and 2 ones, you are correct. So I have a 3 and a 2. I know this part comes up so it's a little hard to see, but I have a 3 in the tens position, and a 2 in the ones position, because 32. I want you to try letter B on your own. So on your piece of paper, I want you just to write the tens, what number is in the tens and what number is in the ones position. Pause the video, and when you're done writing out the tens and ones, you can return back to the video to check your answer. This one, like the first one, was also easy. So 21, we know that gives us 2 tens for 20, and we have a 1 in the ones position. That'll give us 1. Now, let's think about C and D. I want you to try those on your own, but keep in mind, C is a teen number. So, what do teen numbers always have in the tens position? Remember that rule. And for letter D, although they sound the same, these are 2 very different answers. So go ahead and try C and D on your own, pause the video, and come back to the video to review your answers. So for letter C, 15, remember it's a teen number, so I always have a 1 in the tens, and 15, that kind of gives us a clue that means it's going to be a 5 in the ones. So I should have 1 10 and 1 5. 5 ones. Now for D, we say 50. Well, we know 50, that means we have 5 tens in the tens position. But it doesn't say 51 or 52 or 53, so we don't have anything in the ones position. We just have 50. So that means we have a 5 in the tens position, and we don't have anything in the ones position. So now you can go ahead and log on to Google Classroom and do the rest of your independent work today. Make sure to follow all the instructions on Google Classroom. If you have any questions, you can always come back to this video to review, or I'll be able to answer your questions today and Monday. So see you next time. Thanks for watching.